Hi, I'm Lina Tusega. I'm a classroom teacher at Atatu Intermediate school. I have a class of 32 kids and my class is a composite class, so half of my class are year 7s and half of my class are year 8s.
And Lina, how has the transition been for you from the classroom setting to the online space?
Well, it's been mixed. At the start, I was really overwhelmed because it was so unexpected and it was new. But with the support of my colleagues and also the understanding of my students and families, it's been pretty smooth. A lot of my learning was set up online anyway, using websites like Google Classroom and Maths Buddy. So it's just a matter of taking that and adapting it so that students could work more independently at home. The hardest thing has been not having my kids in front of me because I could just talk to them and teach them face to face. So I've had to think of other ways to get my teaching content to them and stay in touch with them.
And do you run like individual sessions or is it small group sessions? Like how does that work with your interactions with your students?
Yep, so I run Google Meet conferences with my class and that's my whole class, but I just use this as touching base with them and seeing how they're doing and getting on with the learning. For teaching, I record video lessons because I find with the conferencing, I don't want to record my kids. And with the video lessons, they can go back and watch that whenever they want. And if they missed a bit of information, they can go back and, watch it at their own pace. I'm also available as well to meet one-on-one or in small groups in my class if they want to set that up.
And how have your students responded to the new learning style? Have they adapted well?
Yeah, so that's been mixed as well. At the start, they were like, yes, we can stay home. They thought the schoolwork was gone. But, once the reality of lockdown settled in and they started the schoolwork, things settled down. They were able to get on with the tasks. And I've had quite a few of them saying, we really miss school. The hardest part for them is the social interactions. They miss their friends being there and being able to talk to me in person.
And what are your thoughts as a teacher with the schools partially reopening next week at alert level 3?
So I think it's normal for me to feel anxious. So I do feel a bit of that anxiety because there's still uncertainty. But for me personally, I'm trusting that our leaders, the government and people I work for are making informed decisions. And I really think that without that trust, we can't move forward. And I want to move forward.
And so what preparations have given you this week to prepare for next week? What preparations have you and your school been doing in the lead up to alert level 3?
Yep, so there's been a lot happening this week since we got the announcement, and every day we're getting new bits of information. So the first thing we're doing is we're doing a good cleanup of our school and making sure that everything's sanitized and ready for the kids to return on Wednesday. We're working closely with our community and figuring out, who needs to come to school, exactly who those students are. And then our management is taking that and the health and safety guidelines from the government and working out a plan on how can we look after these kids who need to be at school and keep them safe. So we've been putting in things like we're creating small bubbles and the kids will stay in those bubbles with the same teachers, breaking up our break time so everyone's having their break at different times to limit the contact with heaps of people and keeping the social distance. So heaps of different routines and stuff being put in to make sure that not only the kids are safe, but we staff members are safe as well.
And the Teachers' Day next week, is that just a day dedicated for teachers to come in and just prep and plan for the reopening of schools?
Yep, so that looks different depending on the school's planning at the moment. But yeah, it would be to go in and prepare the classrooms and make sure that it's all ready for the kids on the Wednesday.
And because you're also a mother as well, you're a wife, you're a Pasifika mother of 2. So what pressures are you navigating your way through? Also,
yeah, it's definitely been challenging. I grew up in a Samoan family where ainga is important. And this was shown to me by my parents, and although they had hard jobs, they always put us first. And with our little ones at home now, we have a toddler and a preschooler, and on top of me doing my work and my husband working as well, we found it hard to balance the work and still give our kids the attention that our parents afforded us. And, you know, they say that it takes a village to raise a child, and that's definitely true with us. Our extended family give us a lot of support, uncles, aunties, kids, grandparents, and not having that support during the lockdown has been really hard, but, you know, we just take it one day at a time.
And what advice would you like to share with other Pasifika students and parents who are struggling with the transition to the online learning space and who might feel a lot of pressure to uphold a certain standard of education?
So as a teacher, I say that schoolwork is important and to do your best. But as a parent, I say that schoolwork will always be there. You know, this time is unexpected with family. And I myself see it as a blessing in disguise. It's not very often that we get to have all this time together. And it's parents, you might not feel like you're equipped to help your kids. You might not feel like experts in science or technology, but you know what? You're experts in life and your culture. So do some learning focused around that. You know, do some cooking with the kids, cook some kopai with them, some koko alaisa, teach them and tell them stories about what these dishes meant for you growing up. There's so much that you have to offer, and the learning doesn't have to just be focused around what the school has set for you.
Awesome. And Lina, thank you for giving us your time just to give us an insight of what teachers will be up to right now leading up to the Alert Level 3 and schools reopening. I really appreciate it.
No worries. Thanks for having me.